What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Riven. In the last episode, we found the marble puzzle on Temple Island, and we figured out the secret of the mechanism in the elevator inside the actual jungle. Those are two very good developments, though I fear that it did not lead to much yet. Um, yeah. I said in the last episode I was lost, and I still am. I'm not really sure where else to go. And at this point, I know that everybody in the comments is yelling at me to slow down, probably. Just don't know where else to look. The thing that I need on the to-do list is I need to figure out what the symbol that I'm seeing in here is. And I've looked pretty desperately, other than this weird, almost human-looking shape. I don't understand what else I could be looking for here. I mean, I guess I could just keep turning. But I don't see a symbol of an animal here. I don't see anything that looks like what an animal could be. Right, I don't see... I can't see the eye. The eye is only visible from here. And then I'm too close. So I must have to have some other way of understanding what that symbol is supposed to be, but all I have to go off of is kind of what sounds to me like a goat noise. And what are the other animals I have? I have a frog, I have a little beetle, I have a fish, and I have what I think is the wark. So I don't know what else to do with that. And I think those are all the animals that I've seen in the adventure up to this point. What other ones are there? Because, like, what else could I confirm with an animal, right? I could confirm I saw a frog at some point. I've seen a lot of bugs. Fish I've seen in the village on the walls, not necessarily alive, but those wouldn't make a goat type sound. We've seen the wark. We've confirmed it's a different sound. Oh, the duckbill guys. Right, but the duckbill guys, yeah, they sound like pigs. Right? And then I'll confirm the shape here. Oh. They're not moving. Oh, that's... okay. So they make that sound when you get close enough? Oh, that... because was that even an option in the remake? I don't think it was. So you just have to get close enough to hear them. They have to trust you. Okay. There's an element of that I like. I see. They're gone, though, when I turn around, I think. Yeah, that's for sure the wark. Okay, so why is that symbol hidden, though? The duckbill guys, why are those hard? I guess because they want you to figure this out. Okay, well, I guess we could go to... we could get there, right? Oh, well, we gotta go around, I think, at this point. Okay, this is good. I willed that into existence, kind of, but that's fine. Come on. This way. Nope. Go that way. Take me this way. This is a better route. Okay. Up we go. Oh, nope. Up. All the way over. So they sound like a pig and a goat. which is no statement on their moral character. They're just chillin'. Okay. In we go. Okay, so if I have everything correct, and these did not save, okay, that's fine. One is the fish. Where's the fish? Nope, that's the fifth one. Where the hell's the fish? There we go. Cool, that's the fish. We got the bug, which is this guy. Then we have frog. Okay, then we have the duckbill thing. Right, and then finally we have the wark. Oh, yeah. I believe in magic. Admittedly, this effect is much cooler in this version of the game. Okay, we have revealed the moiety's secrets. So interestingly, we don't need to solve this puzzle first. Or sorry, we don't need to solve the domes first. Because in the remake, they make you go to Prison Island to be able to even do this. Aha! Yeah, that looks familiar. It's Tay! I wonder what I can see in this. Can you bring me in? I clicked. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm just in. Okay. Alright, this is definitely familiar. Can't look up. Yeah, this image is cool. So if this works the same way, I'm gonna get darted by the moiety. Oh! Yep, there we go. That's fun. I have to imagine that was very shocking back in the day. Where you don't expect the live action actors to be. Oh. Wow, they did the boating sequence. Look at this. I gotta say, as I said before, it really looks like they're in the world. I gotta say, the green screen effects here are still really good. It's the nature of the whole game being like lower resolution. If it was like the game was low resolution but the video was high, it would look very different. But because they're all matching quality, it actually works. All right, what do we got, game? Okay. Oh, I got out of bed. Okay. Look out. I could see the outcropping there. I have bowl. Nothing really in here, or at least it seems like there's nothing in here. Oh, I see. I could get back into bed. Okay, we have a door. This is cool. Much more vibrant than the remake made it. It was the remake made this look dark. I think I'm locked in a cutscene right now. Who's coming? Oh, there's things moving in the background. Well, I can't leave, which is expected for a prison cell. Oh. Someone's coming.
Katrina e now da saya ya palo. Yapa ay manay yelepo. Mio tisay. Bekaretere wira pe yelo kene falapo. Tisay. Why te fulupe?
Interesting. Okay. All right. Now we have more stuff in our inventory. I linked to Riven a week ago. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared, this is going to be rough. This handwriting is crazy. This is obviously Catherine's notebook. With my sight only partially cleared, I stood motionless, peering ahead through a dim veil which was slowly lifting. There was a violent clang, and bars appeared. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, tasting the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with the dart right away. I thought it was an insect bite at first. I'm trying to remember it all, but it's difficult, but maybe because of the drug. There was a voice. A man I did not recognize stood before me. Rivenese, though he was wearing a Denis dress. He seemed to be talking to me, but the poison was already taking effect. A shadow crept in, and I fell asleep. Then there were the many voices, but I understood more. None of them? Yeah, none of them. But I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I couldn't make up. I couldn't wake up. No matter, the dream did end, and now to be here with Etty. Yes, Etty. Right, that's a character. It's been so many years. I didn't realize how much I missed her. Like a piece of me that I had forgotten I'd lost. She's beautiful and so full of warmth. But the years have also left her with a wound which was not there when we were children, so they're friends. I do wish she were more interested. I write quickly from my prison. Neela will return your book, which the moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atreus for a very specific purpose. Gen will desire to use it, although he may have suspicions. If you could find my prison, you will still need the combination to release me. Gen keeps it in his office. Then, I assume, we're to signal Atreus. Not Atreus. I'm thinking Atreus, like the God of War character. I think I know how it might be done, but don't signal him before I'm released, of course. I do wish you were more interested. It seems like I'm asking the questions. She's like, I'm asking all the questions. Oh, okay. I thought that was about to say she's more interested in her, as in like a lesbian relationship, but she's married to Atreus. It's awkward. No one asked me where I've been or what I've been doing. This hurts, but I understand it. But I understand it. Their beliefs are born out of ignorance and oppression. They are a gentle people, but they've had their nest destroyed, and now they frantically cling to anything that may serve them. But why have they chosen to cling to me? I'm confused. As a child, I always felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me, and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by an intense feeling that I owe everything to them and this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet I'm here. I've been given this second chance, but a second chance at what? Saving them? Fulfilling their prophecies? Being their savior? The moiety, Atreus would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. It seems when Atreus and I trapped Gen on Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. Two of the Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gen at the fissure, where I linked back to Mist and where Atreus threw himself into the abyss. Of course, they understood little of what they were seeing, but they somehow were able to guess that we had won. That Gen was no god at all, but only a feeble impostor, a false god, and that we had trapped him here on Riven. I always hoped they would deduce this simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atreus had stripped Gen of his power, therefore Atreus must be a true god. As a god, he was as he was choosing me. Those two O's look different. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and worked Lord and what? Lord? And would lord over Riven forever. Oh shit. Thus, the Moiety, as they all call themselves, were God, this is so bad. A dissident society, sworn enemies of Gen. I did not know of their beliefs regarding Atreus and myself until 2 days ago. Etty was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Ugh. Of course, everyone else assumed that I would be aware of my own god status, so they made up effort to inform me. I only realized it at a recent gathering to which I was invited. I sat at the front of a dimly lit and crowded cave, as they told a mystical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atreus, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which has given them courage to band together and rebel against Gen. Cirrus, that is that Cirrus? No. Oh, since then I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conviction that one day I would return to Riven to face them. Yeah. Some believe that I will overthrow Gen. Others believe that I will bring them to paradise. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight it myself. I love these people, my only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would neither be their slave than their I would rather be their slave than their master. Look at these images. There was this other one too. Over the years, as Gen's power has become greater and greater, the Moiety's minions have grown, or numbers, but same idea, and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of what the fuck is that supposed to say? That he still has not yet discovered. Oh, caves. A complex network of caves that he's still not yet discovered. The Moiety, for the most part, here have completely severed their relationship with the army, with any of the Rivenese that chose against joining them. But I hope they've not sacrificed vital limbs in order to remove the cancer. Even Father and Inant are still on the surface in Gen's domains, and I long to see them, but dismiss shrouds Etty's face every time I've mentioned them. Since this break took place, they have interfered with the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gen's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. They wear strange masks and costumes during their short forays into the island's surface and take this regalia? Oh, yeah, regalia. Wow. They take this regalia very seriously, something to be seen by anyone outside the moiety unless they were properly offered. Offered? I don't know. I'm just going to keep pushing. The handwriting is, it's bad cursive, which is fun for the thing, but it's hard to read. They got much preference out of the feat that they get much preference out of the fact that those on the surface are frightened by their costumes, calling them evil spirits or ghosts. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gen's quads? Oh, Gen's guards. One of Gen's guards when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered to Gen immediately. I've no doubt he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atris is not here. I was, at first, devastated by this realization. Now, I am thankful, as he would be in extreme peril here. Also, there is a quiet inner voice, an echoing remnant that wants him far away. So they didn't I don't know if this was the case in the remakes too, but they hadn't seen each other since we found him in Denis. Interesting. I have just witnessed an age dying, gasping its last breath. Today I ventured to the surface to see what has become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the moiety had reported. It was worse. They have become slowly accustomed to its steady decay. But I was devastated. The lips from which the kins is wrought has fallen worlds will fall cold breath. The womb from which the cry released has suffered will suffer death. That's a poem. To get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages. Before the last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in those members of my family who still live on the surface. But I also knew I must keep my identity hidden from Gen's ever vigilant eye, so I accepted it as well. Then, together, we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The harsh sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after these past weeks in the dank caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. I don't know what. The blank of an the three of us. The three of us emerged from one hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. At the edge of a thick and overgrown area of the forest, they stopped, peered through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me, as if awaiting my command, but could not respond. In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. This swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more, all feeling was gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst. Riven, which was once one island, has split apart into 5 distinct pieces, about half a mile apart, half a mile. 4 of these have been claimed by Gen as his exclusive domain. Only his ministers and personal militia are even allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They are stripped of their former beauty and are riddled with Gen's self-absorbed constructions. The moiety rarely visit these closely guarded places. Not closely guarded anymore. There is another island which I could not see, as it is evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The moiety are very unclear as to what exists on this island, except for the fact that they know it is where the great tree used to exist. Okay, so that's prison, obviously. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers and the moiety still refer to as Riven, but they also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also this one remaining province of the people, though Gen's influence can be seen everywhere. Yeah, you could connect all of them. Okay. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the islands. The Moedi do not. Gen wrote this place, and it will die, as all of Gen's ages eventually die. I feel nothing today. I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world, inhabited by people that they're treating me so strangely. They don't know how to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper amongst themselves. Talking of my bravery during my excursion to the surface. How I walked across the island bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Even Etty is uncomfortable around me. At times there is no awkwardness, and I'm only Catron to her. But at other times I am something else. I'm afraid. There's such a gaunt numbness inside me. Today I do not feel closeness with my people. Neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gen. I don't feel anything. I'm not even sure if at least Neela is still close. I am boiling. I am. Gen is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realized this would happen, of course. Gen would have written all of the materials necessary to the Denis craft of making books into this age, and probably every other age he even wrote. He's attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him. We only delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people are his mechanics. People are his machines. All I'm not sure. In his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry on his noble Denis cause. So far, he's not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atris has never believed in destiny, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There is no choice. I see. It's been a long time since my last entry. It is hard to recognize, but I have found the star fissure. It is located on the island which the Rivenese call Aleppo, meaning water pool, but it is referred to by the Moedi as Alatwam, meaning pool of stars. Having since allowed Atris to escape the age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over a locked viewpoint, the combination to which was acquired by the Moedi before my arrival. Okay, so this is an easier... There's also a thing that says stop. So I'm taking a screenshot, but obviously the release code, which we'll do once we release Catherine, is 4, 1... Oh, no, so that's 5. 4, 5... 3... 2... 3. Just confirming. 4, 5... 3, 2, 3. Yes. Great. In the early days, the Moedi, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissures. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that with the decayed state of the islands, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. I've heard that in the days immediately following Gen's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure. For for he had seen the mist book fall from Atris's hands into that very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it so that he could observe their fate. The telescope which still stands there is one he had built for those callous experiments. It is said that they did not die, but what became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gen's optics prevented him from learning their fate. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atris explained it, after he had fallen into it, but much more than what we've never understood, and we were never able to conclude upon its origins. But the visions tell me that it was born out of the will of the Maker, perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atris's words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed. Oh, I realized the moment that I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse. There, it must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier. The unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven, the very dagger that stands vertically at one end of the Alatwam, has been adopted by this moiety as the symbol of their cause. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is the representation of all of their doctrine and their representation of me. To deface this symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age, along with all the other daggers. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending, even to their own god. I have tried to dissuade them of the notion that symbols contain so much power. The enemy uses this. Oh God. The enemy uses this paranoia against them. They are fearful of Gen's symbol and are terrorized by his symbolic use of the wark. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the moiety to doubt that I am Catherine. My rare encounters with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. I have hoped to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. But I have heard news of some of the religious beliefs regarding Gen. Soon after we trapped Gen on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. I am in the village circles, it is told that this was a primitive this was a punitive act performed by Gen to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, if they've proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue to try to reach them. The door is open. The door is open. Gen is free. Oh, yeah. Gen has the ability to create working books. In fact, he had written one age before I arrived, but his hope that this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware until now. I'm not sure. Perhaps he has written others. Other news, a few years ago, before the moiety were forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a test book that Gen had intended to destroy. It had been partially written, but it did not work. They didn't tell me about it until now because they thought it was useless. Back then, none of Gen's books worked, but instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on the impure wood of the Riven forest and proceeded to engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of the consequences of this crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded a huge amounts of energy, and the related problems delayed his success for quite some time. At last, however, he finished his work and was firmly able to link it to an age, but he kept his success extremely well hidden. However, for some reason, on another belligerent pride, he has made modifications to the domes which make it obvious that he's using the domes to breathe life into his half-dead books. Perhaps he means to lure us into using the books in the domes. He can't believe that we would blindly swallow this suicidal whatever, but he wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the stolen burnt book. Have read burnt book. Age it describes would be unsuitable as new home for the moiety, must be modified. I will dream. Have requested a group to solve combination that will open the domes. Once open, we can power the burnt book. I do not think Gen will interfere. He will leave this bait. There's our drawings. Have began writing the moiety's age. Now must require second book from Gen. There is tension. A strain blurs my vision and nightmares. Neela and Eti stay close. Much has happened. Almost everything is prepared. We have stolen another book, but I'm concerned. Gen will miss it. We have also discovered the combinations for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering our burnt book with Gen's domes, we will be able to link to this age, but we will only have access to the dome for a short of time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. The gateway images in Gen's books and our burnt book all seem to share the same sickness. If they are not powered, the images are black. It might be possible to clear the vision with only this whole contraption. We'll write substance into the moiety age. Wow, all these books are so long. All is ready. Now all we could do is wait for word from the Moetian-esque, right? Who are on the lookout for Gen to power and use the domes. When he does that, we will have access to one of Gen's domes just long enough. After linking to the age which I've written, I only have to locate the book window substance and refine or adapt it. What is that? What is that word? Laying this window over the gateway image. Yeah, laying this window over the gateway image should heal the books and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven. With more of the book windows, we will then no longer have to stay on Gen's clumsy domes. Well, rely on Gen's clumsy domes. I laugh at these plans. I sound like Atris. I'm risking my life, but I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the source of my nightmares, the fissure. Like a great wound is opened. It stains the riven soil with blood. I hold the moiety knife. The voices grow so loud. For their part, the moiety have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of their prophecy, but they are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think of what would think of me or think or do if I fail. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We have already evacuated all of the moiety to this new age. It is beautiful, and I am pleased. At last, my people will live in a safety and comfort. They stand under the bare sky, unfazed and dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. They have named it Te. There is still much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely safeguard this place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven. But I do not even know how to bring this up to the moiety. They will be extremely reluctant about destroying their only link to Riven. I share this hesitation. I would be cutting off my only connection. But for their sake, it must be done. I'm anxious to know if our activities have aroused Gen's suspicions. If so, we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that now we are impregnable? Yeah. Tomorrow I will return to Riven to see Gen's reaction for myself. But tonight I finally rest. And that's that. Oh.
Sira po. Ibuko mo buko wisipo. Na vene. Tapo mo revene benum.
Oh, I see. She's giving us a way back.
Now, Katerina ne. Wisifa polo ya
Is this Etty? It must be. As a named character? Or Neela? Alright, well, we have a way out. We knew that that was coming. So, we're going to call it an episode. I think it went long because I read the book again. So, that's totally fine, though. Give this video a like and subscribe. And I think we're going to get near towards the end on the next one. See you soon.